Let's talk about Alone for a minute. You know that History Channel show? Alone is a reality show where 10 people are placed in different locations in the wilderness under some of the most extreme conditions on the planet. Each one is left by themselves to literally live off the land with limited tools and resources while documenting their experiences day to day on cameras they operate themselves. The seasons have been undertaken over several weeks in places like Vancouver Island, Mongolia, and Patagonia, facing extreme cold and wet conditions in the ranges of alpha predators like grizzlies, wolves, and cougars. It's certainly not for the faint of heart. The contestants purportedly have a considerable amount of survival experience, and it's fascinating to see the different approaches and techniques that they take to the challenges that each of them is faced with. Quite frankly, this is the only thing in reality TV that I've seen that has any true measure of reality in it. You literally watch these people wasting away, many of them losing 20% or more of their starting body weight from their inability to replace the calories that they're using in an effort to be the last one standing. And for what? A chance to win $500,000. We've watched this show from the beginning, and like everybody else, we're sitting there in the climate-controlled comfort of our easy chair, sipping a Diet Pepsi and eating a bag of popcorn, being highly critical of each and every one of these folks for their actions or inactions that are impacting their ability to stay in the game. It's because we see it as entertainment. To viewers, it is a game. But if you're one of those contestants that have asked for and accepted this challenge, it is anything but a game. What many of them, in fact most of them, learn, I think, is that of the survival training and experience that they have woven together over their lives, the most important tool in the kit is mental preparedness, and the most important attribute is will. The will to survive is an instinct that is so strong that it can lead us to do things that we would not even consider otherwise. But I think it's not enough to have the will to survive. You have to further set the conditions that will allow you to thrive, and maybe this is where many of the contestants fall short of the goal. First off, anyone participating in the Alone scenario comes into it knowing that it's temporary. And I think that if you know that it's temporary, you're going to likely stop short of what is necessary to thrive. When you come into it knowing that it is a temporary set of circumstances and that it's going to end within a few weeks or months, then you will likely stop short of anything but simple survival, trying to outlast the others, which can eventually put most people in a very desperate and defeated state. Your mental preparedness has to work overtime, and your mental toughness can depreciate, making your emotional state very fragile, rapidly pushing your will to its limits. And that's okay. For many, this is a defining moment. We've seen people on this show get pulled for various reasons, but the most common reason is that the contestant has simply identified their limits. Not usually their physical limits, but certainly their mental and emotional limits given the circumstances that they have allowed themselves to be placed into. And still, despite the fact that we find drama in this and get entertainment from their emotional struggles, they themselves are better for the experience, an experience most of us will never know. All of the contestants clearly recognize that tapping out or quitting is an option, which should set their minds at ease, but in all honesty, it makes the mental struggle much more difficult. If you put it into your mind that quitting is an option, that you can make a call and go back to civilization at any time, then eventually every single person without exception will exercise that option. But if this was a real-world scenario and tapping out was not an option, if we knew with relative certainty that this scenario was not temporary, but in fact going to be a long-term survival situation to which we must learn to thrive, we would either have to reach a little deeper or die. And so I've decided for myself that this is something that I would like to do. I believe with all my heart that based on what I know about myself and my own training and experiences, that I am capable. Given the opportunity, I would accept the challenge. Not for the money, not for the recognition, and not for the fame. I tell people this all the time. Test your limits or you'll never know where they are. But the truth is, in many ways, today at 55 years old, I'm not sure where my limits are anymore, and it's important to me that I do. I'm Ken Darville, and this is Zodiac.